Hi there, welcome to the RAMM Museum in Exeter's very first RAMM at Home Arty Challenge. So over the next coming weeks we're going to be challenging you to create your very own museum inspired collection from the comfort of your own home. And every week will be a different art challenge and we will set them on Fridays. So to kickstart this Friday art challenge we're going to learn how to draw a giraffe. We thought it would be a great place to start with learning how to draw a giraffe because of the museum's wonderful mascot, Gerald. So I'm sure if you visited the museum, you may have noticed Gerald the giraffe. So to draw a giraffe, you're going to want to know how to draw rectangles. And I'm sure most of you can draw rectangles, so I think you're going to be absolutely fine at drawing a giraffe. I'm going to use a pencil here. I'm using a red one just so you can see it on screen. But if you're at home, I recommend using an HB pencil or an H pencil and just drawing your shapes out, which is what we're starting with for this drawing, very lightly so you can't see your lines too badly or too much. So there we are. I'm starting off with a rectangle in the middle of my piece of paper, and that's going to be the body for my giraffe. And then I'm going to actually make some long thin rectangles. I'm going to make these really long and thin, and these are going to be the legs of the giraffe, and giraffes need very long legs so they can reach to the tops of the trees to eat the juiciest of leaves. So here we are, drawing the legs on here. There we are. Now a good trick is to check that you've got the legs all the same length is by using a pencil as a guide. And we're also going to use the pencil as a guide to work out the angle for the giraffe's neck. So the giraffe's neck, rather than doing it straight up above the body, we're going to bring it out a little bit to the left. So if you get your pencil, move it a little bit to the left, and that's the angle. So this is our badly drawn rectangle because it's going to be a little bit thinner at one end and then thicker on the other side. And then I'm going to actually bring this line to meet these two lines at the ends together, and I'm actually going to put a bit of a curve on it like that. There we are. So the head, again, we're going to use a rectangle, but we can also use that and make it a bit thinner at one end too, like that. We're going to branch out now, wait for it, a triangle. So we're going to do a triangle for an ear and a triangle for an ear. Now I'm sure you've probably noticed that giraffes have these little horns on the tops of the head, which are actually called ossicones. So the ossicones are just simply a little rectangle and a circle on top, and there we are. And then a tail, a line, a little circle or an oval at the end. And that is our basic drawing for our giraffe. So I'm now going to go over this in pen and start bringing a few more curves and making it look a bit more fluid. So you could use a darker pencil or a pen if you're feeling brave. So here we are, I'm starting from the neck and I'm bringing the pen down. When I get to the back, I'm going to bring this down a little bit and then curve it out around the bottom, like that. And then I'm going to bring the legs down, keeping them nice and long. And when I get to the top, I'm just going to do a little semicircle, like that. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And that's just to give this picture a bit more curviness and not make it look too much like straight lines. There we are. And then for the tummy, I'm just going to bring the line a bit over our red line and then bring it down so it looks like the giraffe's had a nice meal recently. And then I'm going to bring the neckline all the way down to meet with the legs, like that. And then for the head, because I've got very delicate heads, I think, I'm just going to put a little circle at the end where we've drawn our rectangle. It's a little semicircle, and I'm going to bring in that line and then make it a bit wider where it meets with the neck. And I'm going to do the same on that side too. I'm going to go over the ears. Can you remember the name for these? Ossicones. There we are, go over those as well. And there we have, mustn't forget the tail, and there we have basic shape of our giraffe. So the next thing to do, I think I'm going to have to give the giraffe an eye. I'm going to also, I like to exaggerate certain features when I'm doing pictures. just to give it a bit of expression. So giraffes have really long eyelashes, so I'm going to really go to town on the big long eyelashes. And they have big long eyelashes, they think, to protect them from all the debris that might fall out of the trees when they're eating the leaves. So the next thing to do is to think about the giraffe patterning. So I'm using shapes again. I've got a hexagon, got a triangle with a square on the bottom, a bit like a house, another hexagon coming down the sides of the neck. So you can't really go wrong here. You could even just do splodges as well. Every giraffe has a different unique patterning to it, so you're creating your own unique pattern on your giraffe. So once you've done all your patches on your giraffe, you can use a yellow. I've got a mustard yellow here to start colouring in between all the splodges and patches. You might have noticed that this giraffe patterning has inspired me to paint my nails the same, and I've also had a go at doing my pencil too, as I think it looks great, this pattern. So that's another thing you could try at home, is see how it inspires you to decorate things around the house with this patterning. So don't forget also to colour in end of the tail. Any last bits that you just want to go over? There we are. And I'm going to give my giraffe here some food to eat. I think I'm going to call this giraffe Geraldine, so she can be a friend for Gerald in the museum. So that's another thing, you might want to give your giraffe a name. And we'd love it if you would like to send in any pictures that you've done with their names or anything you've decorated with the giraffe pattern. And the address to send it to is #RAMM at home, or also you can email us, which the details of that will be below this video. A really nice thing also that you could do is you could send your picture that you've done to someone to let them know that you're thinking of them at this time. So you could either cut it out and actually send it by post to someone, or you could photograph it and email or message it over to them, just to let them know you're thinking of them. You could also pop them in the window. I think what I'm going to do with Geraldine here is I'm going to cut her out and pop her in my window. But it depends what you want to do with her. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed learning how to draw a giraffe. So it's goodbye from me, and thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you hopefully next week for the next challenge. And it's also goodbye from Geraldine. Wishing you all a great week and have fun drawing. Okay, bye.